What does family mean when trust is shattered? When the people closest to you, those bound by blood, commit betrayals so deep they carve permanent scars. These stories aren't just personal dramas, they're raw, unfiltered windows into the human condition, exposing the messy collision of loyalty, pain, and moral choice. Each tale below forces you to confront a question. Where do you draw the line when family hurts you? Buckle up, because these aren't your average sub-stories, they're gut-punching, perspective-shifting narratives that challenge everything you think you know about forgiveness, responsibility, and justice. My sister betrayed me, and now she wants my help. 7 years ago, I, 32, female, made a choice that changed my life. I cut my sister 34 out completely. Why? She was sleeping with my ex-fiancé, 34, male. The man I was set to marry. Worse, her 2-year-old daughter was his. And she was pregnant with another of his children. The betrayal wasn't a one-time mistake, it was a calculated, years-long deception. I ended my engagement and my relationship with her in one brutal swoop, telling her she was dead to me. My family understood, or so I thought, and they worked to keep us apart, sparing themselves the tension of our mutual hatred. Fast forward to today. I'm married to Lou, a man who gets me because he's been burned by family too. His brother slept with most of his exes while they were still dating. We have 3 young kids and life is good. My sister, she's married to my ex now, with 2 daughters. Last year, he was disabled in a workplace accident, and she was diagnosed with a serious medical condition. They've been drowning, struggling to pay bills, feed their kids, keep a roof over their heads. My parents and extended family have stepped in, but I've stayed silent. I didn't offer help, didn't reach out. Why would I? She obliterated our bond. Last month, the pressure on them intensified. My ex needed surgery, and then he landed back in the hospital. My sister followed. My family asked Luke and me to take her kids temporarily. I said no. Then she found me on social media, pleading, "We're sisters above all else. My family needs you." I shut her down, saying I'd never help her or her family. She called me cold. My family piled on, insisting her kids are innocent, that I should want them in my life, that I should set aside my pain because blood is thicker than water. They're furious, claiming I've taken my grudge too far. But here's the controversial hook. Why should I owe her anything? She didn't care about family when she betrayed me. The kids are innocent, sure, but they're her kids, tied to a man who broke my heart and a sister who stabbed me in the back. Helping them means opening a door to her, and I can't stomach that. My family's guilt-tripping me. But isn't it hypocritical to demand I play the sister card now, after she torched our bond? The cognitive bias here is clear. They're leaning on the halo effect, assuming her kid's innocence should erase her sins. But emotions don't work like that. Pain lingers, and trust, once broken, doesn't magically reform because someone's in crisis. Imagine this. You're asked to save the child of the person who burned your house down. Would you? The kids aren't the arsonist, but every interaction risks pulling you back into the flames. That's my reality. My refusal isn't about punishing the kids, it's about protecting my peace. Yet, society's obsession with family unity screams I'm the villain. What do you think? Am I wrong for choosing myself over a sister who destroyed me? My brother insulted my wife, and I kicked him out. My wife, Elle, and I have been married for a year. She's incredibly strong, confident, and happy in her skin. Back in the day, she was a sports model, adhering to a rigid beauty standard that left her underweight and miserable. Since then, she's gained healthy weight and muscle, and she's thriving. Enter my brother, Chris, a wealthy guy fresh off a nasty divorce. He's staying with us temporarily as he moves into a new place. Chris has a tight and narrow, unrealistic ideal of how women should look. If you don't fit it, he deems you ugly and unlovable. 2 days ago, Chris found Elle's old magazine covers and wouldn't shut up about how beautiful she was back then, implying she's let herself go. He kept at it, commenting on her flabby bits as she went for a run, telling her to return to her role figure at the gym, and even joking about paying for a tummy tuck so I could marry the right skinnier version of her. Elle brushed it off with grace. But I was livid. Finally, I snapped, telling him his ex-wife married the wrong version of him and to pack his bags and leave. He whined that I was insensitive to his divorce, but he left. Elle thinks I could have kicked him out without the jab. Here's the rule-breaking angle. Why is it okay for family to hurl insults under the guise of honesty, but a single comeback makes me the bad guy? Chris's behavior taps into the confirmation bias. He's so fixated on his ideal of beauty, he can't see Elle's strength or worth emotionally. His comments weren't just rude. They were an attack on my wife's autonomy and my loyalty to her. Kicking him out wasn't just about the moment, it was about drawing a line against toxic family who think wealth or blood gives them a free pass to degrade others. Picture this. Your sibling stays in your home, eats your food, and insults your partner's body daily. How long would you tolerate it? Elle's resilience doesn't excuse his cruelty, and my response, while sharp, was a defense of her dignity. Yet, I'm left wondering if I went too far. What would you have done? My fiancé's friend ruined our joy. I'm 29, female, and engaged to a wonderful man 33. His best friend, Jason, is the brutally honest type who can't keep his thoughts to himself. My fiancé loves him despite this. But Jason's backhanded comments about my past have always stung. When we invited him to our wedding, my fiancé promised he'd keep Jason in check. Spoiler: he didn't. We recently announced our pregnancy at my future in-law's house. Everyone was thrilled except Jason. He sat there, staring me down, then hugged my fiancé and said, "Man, paternity test. Pronto." The room froze. I confronted him, demanding he repeat it. He backpedaled, claiming it was a joke. But I was done. I called him an insensitive idiot and uninvited him from the wedding. He stormed out, calling me a drama llama. My fiancé and his mom agreed Jason was out of line, but said uninviting him was too far. My fiancé thinks I overreacted to a joke. I broke down later, feeling humiliated in front of my in-laws. Here's the provocative twist. Why do we excuse honesty when it's just cruelty in disguise? Jason's comment wasn't a joke, it was a public accusation of infidelity, tapping into the availability heuristic, where one snide remark plants doubt in everyone's minds. Emotionally, it stole my joy and tainted a milestone. Logically, if he had concerns, he could have spoken privately to my fiancé. Instead, he chose maximum damage. Uninviting him wasn't impulsive, it was a stand against someone who disrespected me and my unborn child. Think about it. Someone humiliates you during one of your happiest moments. Would you let them celebrate with you later? My fiancé's defense of Jason feels like a betrayal of its own. Am I overreacting? Or is this a hill worth dying on? I hate wedding culture, and my in-laws hate me. I'm 32, female, and I despise wedding culture. The pomp, the expense, the pressure to perform for others, it's exhausting. My fiancé shares my view. Also, I thought. His traditional in-laws, however, are obsessed with a big, flashy wedding. A huge venue, a fancy dress, a DJ, the works. When my mother-in-law and sister-in-law showed up with a detailed wedding plan, I felt sick. I explained at my fiancé and I wanted a small backyard party with a simple purple dress and Etta James playing softly. They were horrified. My mother-in-law nearly fainted, then yelled that I was mocking their family. My fiancé's dad and aunt joined in, accusing me of ruining the wedding. My fiancé, who'd agreed to our plan, caved under their pressure, saying he didn't expect their reaction. Now they're threatening to boycott if I don't comply, calling me a bridezilla. Here's the bold stance. Weddings aren't about family, they're about the couple. The in-laws' reaction reeks of the bandwagon effect, clinging to tradition because that's how it's done. Emotionally, their rejection hurts. But logically, their demands prioritize their egos over our happiness. I've had a big wedding before, and it was miserable. Why should I repeat it to please people who dismiss my values? Imagine planning your dream day, only for your partner's family to demand you scrap it. Would you cave? My fiancé's flip-flopping signals a deeper issue. Will he always prioritize his family over me? Am I wrong for standing my ground? My mom stole my future. I'm a young adult who's always been ahead academically. A few years ago, I earned a spot in a prestigious online program after acing a tough test. It was a big deal. But the online format didn't suit me, and it hurt my future prospects. So, I retook the test, scored high enough for an elite boarding school, and got accepted. It was my ticket to a better future and an escape from my emotionally and verbally abusive Catholic mother, but she refused to let me go. Why? She was having a baby with her new husband and needed me as a free babysitter. My dad supported me, but as a minor, I had no power. A year later, I still can't forgive her. I've cut her out of anything related to my education, and she's whining about it. My family except dad thinks I'm too harsh. Here's the radical perspective. Parents don't own their kids' futures. My mum's selfishness prioritizing her needs over my opportunity exploits the authority bias, where her role as parent supposedly justifies her control. Emotionally, her refusal crushed my dreams. Logically, it was a deliberate choice to keep me trapped. I don't fight her because I know she gaslight me, but cutting her out is my way of reclaiming power. Picture this. Your parent denies you a life-changing opportunity to serve their own needs. Would you forgive them? My family's pressure to move on ignores the depth of my loss. Am I wrong for protecting myself? Why these stories matter? These aren't just isolated incidents, they're universal. Betrayal by family cuts deeper because it defies our innate expectation of loyalty. Psychologically, we're wired for tribal bonds, so when those bonds break, it triggers a primal wound. The sunk cost fallacy pushes us to forgive family because of shared history. But what if that history is toxic? These stories challenge the myth that blood ties trump all. They expose the tension between self-preservation and societal pressure to be the bigger person. Each narrator faces a moral crossroads. Forgive and risk further pain, or stand firm and face judgment. The emotional weight, anger, humiliation, grief is palpable, but so is the logic. Why reward those who hurt you? The controversial hook lies in rejecting the family-first dogma. Sometimes, the healthiest choice is to walk away, even if it makes you the villain in someone else's story. Call to action. Choose your line. Don't just read these stories, engage with them. Where do you stand? Would you help a sister who betrayed you? Kick out a brother who insulted your spouse? Uninvite a friend who humiliated you? Plan a wedding you hate to please others? Forgive a parent who stole your future? Share your thoughts below, and don't hold back. Your perspective could spark a debate that changes how someone else sees their own struggles. Better yet, reflect on your own life. Where have you drawn the line with family, and why? Act now, comment, share, or journal your thoughts. The clarity you gain could be the first step to reclaiming your power.